What is up, YouTube? That's here, back at it again with another rental team submitted by my Patreons. Today we're taking a look at an amazing Rayquaza rental team. I actually think Rayquaza is not good. I think Rayquaza is probably the worst restricted, so I'm actually happy to be potentially proven wrong. I think actually this team has a lot of the right tools that you would like to see a Rayquaza have. Like, it's using a Sash Rayquaza, it has a little bit of Dragon Dance, it still has the E-Speed. That's the perfect Rayquaza moveset, in my personal opinion, if you are going to be playing this Pokemon. Other than, like, you know, some obvious things like the Amoonguss not having Spore, this rental team is actually pretty good. I like the Coco set. I wish I had Electro Web. The rental code, actually not rental code, the paste bin right over here that was submitted had Electro Web on the Coco, and I actually wish the Electro was still on there, personally. I think it's better than Nature's Madness. I don't understand what Nature's Madness is even for on this Coco set, because like your rest of your mons are so slow that it doesn't actually make sense to have Nature's Madness on there, because like what you want with Nature's Madness, I guess it's also it doesn't make sense to have Electro necessarily either, because they are so slow that they can't capitalize, but Rayquaza can, and Rayquaza would definitely benefit from an Electro user in this team. I do think that if we're looking at our EVs, Coco doesn't need to be this fast. There are a handful of 130s, you know, like things like Crobat, things like, Eternatus, I guess does come to the table. There are a handful of 130s, but you don't need to have that 130 speed. You really only need to outspeed Whimsicott, in my opinion. Other than that, the rest of the other Pokemon you would already be outspeeding. So get that to beating like 185. So it's probably going to be something like a 188. Oh, it's not even that much. You can even get away with something, I guess it's like 156, right? 187. Wow. Still going over 144. 184, 148, right? So like if you get into that speed stat, you can go something like this and make your vested set like way better. Something like that would be just a little bit more optimal, I think, because you're technically functioning at relatively the same speed tier, functioning with that much speed. So you don't really need to have, you know, full 252 in speed to actually, you know, make that set work, unless you really want to speed tie those other 130s, which, you know, there's not that many. If we take a look at the Rayquaza, this is kind of cool. Like, I understand the reasoning for going like 252 speed, right? You want to be fast, but I do think you still need to be jolly, because right now you're getting outsped by Timid Ogre and Timid Groudon and Timid, you know, everything at base 90, Reshiram, Zekrom, all those things. So I still think you do have to be timid, which is unfortunate. I agree, it is unfortunate. And because you're, wait, hold on, go back, hold on. This is one of those, people are tricking me again. This Rayquaza is sashed, and the Rayquaza on the Poke Paste is widered. Why you guys do this to me, man? Why you guys gotta do this to me? I'm happier that it's sashed, right? I am happier that we're using a sash Rayquaza. I think it's a much better set than the wide herb, so that is an adjustment. But if we're gonna be sashed, just be a 252 set. There's no reason to have that fluff in these stats, especially if it's taking away from your offense. And I do think that you definitely would want to be jolly in that department, just so you can actually use your base 95 speed and not get outsped by other base 90s. Being able to outspeed Wander is another really big thing. I do think the sash is better, so the rental code's better than the Pokebase that was submitted, but now I have to like second guess everything that's on these things, you know? Let's take a look at this. Yeah, the Amoonguss. Amoonguss looks solid. Black Sludge is cool. I still think you need Spore. I know you're like, but I have Coco, I don't need Spore. You need Spore, because you're not always gonna have your Coco. And Amoonguss that can't Spore is an Amoonguss that's not a threat. I also don't think that you need an Amoonguss on this team, because you have Ferrothorn. They do exactly the same thing. They're the bulky grass type that also technically walls Xerneas. So I do think that like these guys are clashing a lot here. You might want to cut one of them. I almost want to say like an NDD might be okay here, just because it can redirect from Ray. And then if you put like Shadow Ball on the NDD, it might be able to be like a low-key check for Shadow Rider. So that's something you might want to think about. Ferrothorn set's great, but you do want to drop that out. That needs to be 0. This needs to, you know, why are we calm? Don't be calm. Be sassy. And you gotta make it just like that. Cool set though. We're not even using all our EVs? Why aren't we using our EVs? Bro. Like, what is this? You gotta use your EVs, bro. Oh man. Yeah. You can't just not use your EVs. Yeah, I gotta second guess everything now. Alright, Incineroar Citrus Berry looks like a solid set. Yeah, I like heavy special defense and Sins. Pretty nice. Looks good on here so far. Hopefully it's the same in game. I'm looking at it in game. Lariat. Cool. Alright. And Rindo with Calm. Alright, that makes sense. Okay. Hopefully we'll be able to get some wins Remember, this is a part of a series that we're doing where we're using Patreon submitted teams. You guys can submit your teams as well. There's a link to that in the description. Think about checking that out. If you guys want me to review your teams, take a look at them, let you know what I think, use them in some games, and you'll generally get some good feedback. It's a great way to do it. So hopefully we can win some games with this one. I think this one does have the tools. We've used a couple rental teams that aren't necessarily up to snuff the past couple times, and I think this one does have the tools, but we are using a very, very not great restricted, so we're going to have to play this very smart. I think our lack of protects is going to end up being a problem. We have no protect on Sin, no protect on Coco, no protect on Swampert, so I can't just like have myself be exposed like that. So it's either going to be A, me really, really having to outplay my opponents, or B, me falling into good matchups, but I think we got shots. Let's go into some games. Here we go. All right, let's go. All right, Shadow Rider. We talked about Shadow Rider when we were initially breaking down the rental. Shadow Rider is super good. Shadow Rider with Tailwind support and Regidrago is also super, super good. This Coco set, if you had that EV spread that I was talking about, oh man, you might be able to actually have been super good here. But now let's see what we can actually do. Swampert seems okay. It's good versus Regieleki. It's good versus Regidrago. It's bad for Serena, but I don't think they're bringing the Serena as a lead. I think Swampert can actually be a pretty decent lead here. Like Swampert with Ray seems nice. I want to bring the Incin. I don't think that Ferrothorn's necessarily that great here. I think Ferrothorn's definitely usable, but I think they will be bringing their Talonflame. I think something like Coco might be the best way to play it. Just because Coco might not die, and it can go for like a Volt Switch out, and it can, pin that Urshifu. It definitely pins the Urshifu. And it's a big fairy type to do with the Drago. So I think Coco's a decent switch in for things like Talonflame and a couple of other those mons. So hopefully we get some good stuff here. I think Incineroar's great versus Shadow Rider. That's probably going to be Urshifu Water, which is another reason why Coco is really, really good here. So we'll see what we can get done here. I'm starting to see a lot more Scarf Urshifus on the ladder. We've seen a couple recently. So also I would say this guy is ranked like 200 in the world, so he's actually a pretty high ranked player using a pretty good looking team. I hope they're not leading Serena. If they are, we're going to have to switch out probably. Yeah, Talonflame Calyrex. That's exactly what I thought they were going to lead. They're going big into that all-in play from their Calyrex, and I think that's just a great way to play it. Swampert Ray, though, we can go Redirection. Hopefully they don't have, like, single target moves. I would love to actually just go for a big Dragon's Ascent with that Calyrex. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't have a problem with technically going, like, Wide Guard here into, like, Dragon's Ascent. I don't think they'll let me get away with that. I really don't. But I think they're probably going to be going Tailwind this turn into Astral. Possibly. If they want to nuke our Ray, I don't think they double into the Ray. I think that like one attack into the Ray is totally normal. So let's see it. Wide Guard's up, Swampert. We're playing a little bit predictable here. There's the Tailwind, cool. And so we had to do that play this turn. We couldn't have played like Protect Scald and done other things like that because we needed to make it, we needed to attack while the Talonflame is busy, right? The Talonflame's busy, setting up its Tailwinds. And so we're just going to get a free Dragon's Ascent with this Rayquaza. I don't think they're dead. They might have died if you had that 252 attack like I was talking about. Currently rocking that 236. 252, you probably would have got it. Let's actually think about what we want to do here. I don't necessarily think... I think actually, like... Let's see, what are they going to switch him with? I think Scald's fine. I was going to Ice Beam, but I think Scald's okay. Or you just go for a Scald here. Swampert can actually just eat the Astral, so I'm actually just going to play it like this. I think they're going to go maybe for Protect Calyrex and to like start doing some stuff with Talonflame. And so we're just going to try to use Rayquaza as bait here. Rayquaza is the bait. There's the Brave Bird. They can double into our Swampert. I don't think that's necessarily the right play. Because like I think Swampert's going to be able to eat this thanks to the fact that we have the Citrus, right? Oh, we have Rindo. Fuck. We have Rindo. That sucks. Expanding Force in the Swampert. Great play from them. They played on the Wide Guard. They ignored our Ray, but, you know, they don't get the boost on it, so we are going to be able to take that. So, good play from them. I think that was absolutely masterful play from their part. We are going to be able to take it the Restricted, though. And I would say now the game's even. Because Rayquaza is still not, like, amazing. Let's see what they have in the back, though. That, you know, they have things like Urshifu, for example, like outspeeds Ray. There's a Drago. Cool. We do have the potential to go for Wide Guard here. I think Wide Guard... Dragon's Ascent would KO the Talonflame. E-Speed won't. So I actually will pop the Wide Guard just to keep them absolutely honest. And then, you know, we have the potential to bring in Coco when we need it. We have potential to switch in Sin as well, and Sin's a great mon to bring in here. I think I am going to go for the Dragon's Ascent into this Talonflame, because we have Coco that can automatically wall that Drago. If they want to go for, like, a Dragon Pulse and Brave Bird this turn, they totally can, but they're disrespecting my ability to be sashed. Or they're just leaving my Swampert up. Like, let's see how this is going to go down. Brave Bird, obviously we knew that was coming on some target. That's correct targeting, I think, there, too. So good stuff from them. And I want to see if they're going with the AoE move or just like a Dragon Pulse. At the very least, we have a Sash up. So if they go for like a Dragon Pulse or a Meteor, you know, we're going to be absolutely fine. Meteor, great play. What's really cool also is that they're lowering their special attack here. And we're going to be able to KO that Talonflame this turn. So we're going to be able to make it so they're stuck with that -2 for the rest of the game. So Rayquaza's staying alive. Sash Rayquaza sees so much better than Wide Herb. I love it already. There's the Dragon's Ascent, numero dos. Talonflame's going to be going down. We can even go for like a fadeaway extreme speed in this point. So it's going to be really, really nice. I think it's actually better to save this Coco in the very back. So we want to be able to... I think they're probably bringing out Urshifu here. But they still have a Tailwind up. So we want to be able to wait that out. So I think something like Incineroar is going to be really, really good. Or we can go for like a fake out play. And then, you know, switch in that Coco correctly. There's Urshifu. It's almost like a play the game. Show me that Water Urshifu. Dark Urshifu. That's great. That's absolutely fine. So, and because it's Dark Urshifu, I don't really need to care. I can just go fake out in the Urshifu, hard switch in my Coco, block the Dragon attack, and the next turn D-Win win the game. And like I said, this should be the last turn of Trick Room, right? Or not Trick Room, Tailwind? Yeah, cool. Yeah, we win. Cool beans. Against a good player, using a good team on the higher parts of the ladder, like, Rayquaza does have the skills to pay the bills. I think Rayquaza is a cool enough mon. And the Sash set is just so nice on it. It's so nice. So let's see what they're using here. I want to see if they're ignoring the Ray and actually going for like a Draco crit on our Incin. That'd be kind of funny. Let's go. Hopefully we have Dazzling Gleam. Maybe actually just check this. There's the fake out, break Sash. Cool, we have Dazzling Gleam. Oh man. Draco, not today. Doesn't affect Coco. No more Tailwind. And I guess we want to probably just go for like a Flare Blitz into this guy. Because if they are like a Scarf Poison Jab crit set or whatever, you know, we'll be able to weaken them quite a bit. Scarf Poison Jab. Yeah, D-Gloom. Not today. It's not Scarf. It's totally Sashed. Big damage. And there's not that much they can actually do. Crit the Drago. Yeah, we take those. This guy getting never lucky right now. Yeah, I think Ray definitely, like, if you play it with that big Sash set, it can be good, but it does need to have, like, a 252 set. You know, we would have KO'd that Shadow Rider on the first turn if we were at, like, full Adamant 252. I personally do think Jolly's better, but, like, given the tools with what we have, there's no reason to waste those points in HP and, like, defense and stuff like that if we're going to be using a Sash set. So we take those. We brought the perfect Monster Ride situation. Our Wide Guard worked correctly. Rayquaza was perfect bait when it needed to be, and every mon on the team, like, really did work out correctly. I think is that game? Are you out of mons? There we go. I've never seen a Citrus Berry activate like that, where Citrus Berry activates after you deal the finishing blow. It's like the chef's kiss on the end of the game. It's perfect. All right, another Shadow Rider. And this one, you know, other than the Amoonguss, doesn't really have any potential for grass attacks. So I do think Swampert, again, great lead. Great. So good versus Sin, so good versus Lando. It's really good meta call mon right now. I'm very proud of you for submitting a team with a really good Swampert set like this. I do think Ray could still be usable. It's great versus Urshifu. It struggles a bit versus those multiple Intimidators. Maybe we do want to bring something like Pharaoh as our lead. I want to be able to, no, maybe we'll just bring our Sin and just trade Intimidates with them. I think that's actually a really good play. Then we switch in here. I do think, though, that Tapu Koko is still absolutely required for this matchup. So, gotta bring the Koko. I think Ferrothorn could be very, very good here, but it is what it is. I don't think we need it. I'm not a big fan of Pharaoh versus Shadow Rider, personally. Just personally not a fan. I know you can't really body press it, but there's a bunch of other things that you can't do to it as well. Like, if they just put up a sub or they have a taunt, like, you kind of just wait to die, and then you're stuck on the board all by yourself. The cool thing about having the, like, Amoonguss and Ferrothorn in this team is it really does force your opponents, just like in the last game. They brought that Talonflame. They knew they wanted it to beat all our bulky grass types, and, you know, we don't really need to bring them. We're in a good spot without them. We can actually mirror water types and punish them for it. So, Lecky and Sin. Great. I love this. So they're going to be able to get Intimidates. I think that Swampert is in such a good spot here. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. We're going to see their Intimidates faster than ours. That's because our Incin, I think, is just rocking 4 speed. And I don't think there's actually anything wrong with rocking a slower Incin, because it shows, basically, when you have a 4 speed Incin, what you're saying is, if your Intimidate goes first in the situation, that's saying, hey, their Incin's made for TR. Watch out for that TR. They might have a tricky TR. Their Wims might be setting TR. Their Shadow Rider might be setting TR. Watch out for that. And so I like using the slower Incins to still, you know, use them correctly in those type of situations. I do think that we're still going to want to go for the Fake Out into the Lecky. Actually, do we have to? Do I care? I don't think we need to Flare Blitz it. I actually think I'm going to go for the Fake Out. I don't want to switch in my Koko. Do I want to switch my Koko? Let me think about that. Actually, I'm going to switch in the Koko. Because I'm pretty sure they're Fake Outing anyways. All right, I don't really want my Incin to take a lot of damage, but I think Incin is how we're going to be able to deal with our Shadow Rider. I think what their numero uno going to want to do for the first few turns of the game is deal with that Incin slot. So I wouldn't be surprised to see like Incin Fake Out our Swampert, and then go for like a Specs Electric Attack. And we're going to be able to actually tell if they're Specs based off how much damage it does. I know we're setting the Electric Train for them. There's the Fake Out. That's totally fine. Ain't got no problem there. They can't hit that slot. So we're totally fine. That's looking like Magnet, right? We are vested. We can eat another one of these attacks. That's actually really nice. Yeah, I think we're just going to go Earth Power here. And we can soak a lot of damage and probably Volt Switch in to bring our Incin back out. I'm going to Volt Switch this guy in case they are like protecting with their Lucky this turn. So we're just going to be able to do some good damage to their Incin. Soften it up a bit. We'll be able to KO the Lucky, I think. I don't think we have any special attack investment, but Earth Power is a big move. Super effective. I'm thinking their Magnet, they could still be sashed. But if they show sash on their Lucky, then it's not on their Shadow Rider as well. So I think as long as we preserve our Mons, I also don't want to get like Protect baited. Right, there's Thunderbolt. Cool, go for it. It won't be able to get the KO unless you crit. Yep, that's great. So we're going to be able to come in with our Incin as well. So Volt Switch, I'm thinking that might be a choice set. You know, there's also a lot of Scarf Regielekis running around right now. There are a lot of them running around. So if they just want to be Scarfed, like, go for it. We're getting a second Intimidate up here, which is going to be very, very valuable. And we're not intimidated from when they bring out their Shadow Rider. So let's see what they're bringing out here. If we can kill the Lecky with the Earth Power, at the very least, we can go for like a, you know, Fake Out into it next turn or something probably as well. So here we go, Flare Blitz. Not going to do a ton. I think he's trying to burn my Swampert. Oh, they were Flare Blitz in that slot, which is the right play. You should have Flare Blitz that spot. So remember, they are at -2 as well. So that's very, very nice. Earth Power, Special Attacker Swampert, popping it off. Let's go. Yep, and so I think that might have been a Scarf one, because I think that's a really popular set on Shadow Rider teams. I think it was in that Players Cup Invitational thing. So yeah, we take that thing out. That's great. We're able to use Koko just enough to get some good damage on their Incin, right? But we analyzed a little bit more of their set. I think we're in a good spot. Is it Water Shifu? Dark Shifu, okay. That works. We just go for Fake Out, right? Just Fake Out. Let's see. Do we want to Scald that thing? Or should we be Scalding this Incin? I'm going to Scald the Shifu and Fake Out it. I don't see how this potentially hard backfires. Check out their team. Just again, 1 sec. We got 23 seconds. They have to have Calyrex as the last mon. Has to be last mon Calyrex, right? So, yeah, let's go for it. If they want to protect, they can protect. I don't necessarily think that's losing me the game. Yeah, that's a good play. Next turn, we're just going to switch out our Incin, I think. Maybe fodder the Koko. They can totally go for a parting shot here. I don't think it's the end of the world. I really don't. Good play from them, but I don't think it's the end of the world. I think, like, next turn... See, I don't see Calyrex one-shot... Sorry, I don't see Urshifu one-shotting our Incin either. Actually, this Incin doesn't have any defense investment. Ugh. That's 28. That's not nearly enough. So they're running Calyrex here. Good play from them. I should have read that, I think. No, I couldn't just ignore the Urshifu. Like, I couldn't ignore it. We can still wide guard and switch in our Coco. And fodder, and then bring the Ensign back out and intimidate. Make sure they don't die to the close combat. I think that's probably our best play. It'd suck to get subbed on, guys. But it is what it is. If they have Sucker Punch, they can Sucker Punch the Coco too. We can't really do anything about that. But we need to like get our Ensign to be able to intimidate their Urshifu. And anytime they're switching back out, cool. That totally works. Like, I just don't want to lose everything. I think right now they're scouting for wide guard. So they're wasting their Intimidate right here. For the most part. And I'm getting my Ensign out of dodge, and I would love to see a close combat. I would love to see a close combat. They might be Wicked blowing our Swampert because they know just how much of a threat it is. So that'd be nutty from them. There's the wide guard. That isn't doing anything. Wide guard against Urshifu. Close combat. Awesome. I love that for me. That's so freaking amazing for me. Because your stats just got dropped, right? Your stats just got dropped. It means you take that big boy damage whenever I decide to deal it. From something like my Incineroar. From something like, you know, my Swampert here can do a lot. Rayquaza can come in. I know you outspeed me. But I think it's a good play to bring Incineroar here. They have Fake Out pressure again. But I think this is going to be okay. Because they are intimidated. So they'd have to go, like, Fake Out into my Ensign. Otherwise, they just, like, get Fake Outed as well. I don't think it's a good idea to switch out the Ray yet. I think it's better to keep the Ray's Sash intact. That's why I didn't want to bring it out. Because it'd be forced to protect. And then we just go, they'd go Fake Out the Ray, Wicked Blow the Swampert. And I'd be sad. Because we just need a free Wicked Blow for free. Urshifu's protecting? Cool. This is a good play for me. They're probably Parting Shotting again. I wouldn't be surprised to see Parting Shot into my Swampert. Snarl. Good play. It's a little bit better than Parting. Crit my Incineroar. Never lucky. OMG. Yeah, so we're actually probably going to proc a Berry here. I hope that it's not like a pinch. The good thing is we're slower than both their mons. Is that a Shucka? That's sick. And now we know, so it's not like some sort of other crazy berry, so we can actually just do whatever we want for the rest of the game. Okay, Electric Tree is going to dissipate. I think it's probably a better idea to just go into that Urshifu. Like, Scald it. And, see, like, I could soak all this damage and Parting to reapply all this stuff. But I think it's probably a better idea to just try and go like this. Just nuke that Urshifu slot. Its Protector's on cooldown. Like, this is going to do a lot. If you switch it out for Shadow Rider, you will lose the Shadow Rider. And if you close combat, you're going to lose the Urshifu. Yeah, I don't die. I get my Citrus. Just remember, we got that valuable Intimidate. And I'm basically putting a lot of my eggs in the Rayquaza basket right now. I'm putting a lot of them in there, but it's the fact that I'm Sash that I think gives me a good shot. There's a Snarl. It's not helping my cause here. Hopefully we can kill this Urshifu, right? It's close combat, so we're just be taking a no attack investment Flare Blitz. And yeah, hopefully the Urshifu is down. At the very least, it should be within range for close combat. Or not close combat, extreme speed. Oh yeah, Swamp could take it out from there. That's fine. That's totally fine. And the big Skull taking it out. Sick. I have absolutely no problem with that at all. Alright. I'd like to hit the Shadow Rider with the Swampert just to potentially break Sash. And my Incineroar is pinned as fuck, so... I don't see a problem with Wide Guard and... Yeah, I don't see a problem with Wide Guard and just going for a Parting Shot. Because if they kill the Ensign, I get a free switch into my Ray, and if I Parting Shot, I get a free switch into my Ray because I'm slower than their Ensign. That's also another value of being a slower Ensign. You get the value of going for like those slower Parting Shots. Psychic, hey, that's a good play. Single target, it's not doing a ton. I want to see if they take Orb damage. They do take Orb damage, that's great. Snarl, cool. Blocking that Snarl. Wide Guard busted. And we reset our Fake Out for later. That's nice. Against their Ensign. So we can actually save our Swamp. We can actually switch out that Swampert next turn, I think. I'm trying to think of how we lose here. Would they Astral this turn, or would they just Psychic? I think I'm going to attack the Incineroar this turn. I think we can take out Sin from this. And Sin's not going to protect. If anything protecting, it's Calyrex. So I'm looking at it like this. I don't think Psychic is enough to necessarily get them what they need. But we'll see. I think we might be able to... If they Psychic our Ray, they'd clock Sash. And we Wide Guarded for nothing. And then from there, I think it's a slow loss. All our mons are at like 1. And they have to like single target them down 1 at a time. Draining Kiss. That's sick. Single targeted down our Ray. That's nice. I mean, it's not really single targeting down our Ray, but it's a lot of damage. Heals them up. They are orbs, so I don't really care about like how much damage they take. As long as they're not sashed, like, we're good. So this should take out this guy. Sick. So in these situations, I wonder what I should be doing. If they... I think that I actually want to just... Do I hard switch in my Incin here? If they get that +1, that's going to be really bad. Incin doesn't provide any support, really. Swampert doesn't provide any support, really, either. They can always just Draining Kiss my Incin. I didn't think they'd actually have Draining Kiss. That actually completely ruins this. I might have to just go, like, Protect Ray and Ice Beam and go for a Freeze. I think that might be my only out. Because Ray has no way to ever, like, have an impact now. It has no way. They can just Draining Kiss it forever. So I actually think I need to fish for this. Good play from our opponent, by the way. Absolutely great play with that Draining Kiss. I did not expect that at all. They shouldn't be Astraling here. I don't think they should Astral here. Yeah, Draining Kiss. Yep, good play. I get 1 turn to maybe get a Freeze. And I'm going for it. Come on, Swampert. Let's go. Freeze it. Never lucky. I gotta do it again. They know what I'm playing for. I'm playing for 10%. I'm playing for that 10%. So we're going to lose the Incin of the Draining Kiss. Unless they decide to go for the Swampert and ignore the Ray who's protected on cooldown, which I would not recommend. Yep, good play. Alright, I get another shot. I get another shot. Another opportunity. Mom spaghetti, let's go. Yep. Come on. Give me that freeze. Give me that freeze! Freeze, please! Alright, so there's 2 things we can do here. We can go Protect Ray and Swampert Ice Beam. And the way that would work is it would give me 1 more shot if they wanted a Draining Kiss. I actually think they're going to Astral this turn, as weird as that sounds. Because that would KO the Swampert. Or they're going to Psychic the Swampert. You know, they're going to go for an attack like that. I actually think that my best play might just be to potentially like Wide Guard this turn, because it stops the Astral. If they're Draining Kissing, they're Draining Kissing. And even if I were to like go for the Protect Ray Freeze, that'd be really cool. But if I don't protect my Ray here and I get the Freeze, let's say like I went for my Dragon's Ascent here and I got the Freeze, Swampert wouldn't be able to KO. So I actually think this is my best shot, is going for the Wide Guard Ascent here and hoping that they mess this up in Astral, because what they actually can do, they should still just be Draining Kissing the Ray. They should just Draining Kiss the Ray. Show me Draining Kiss. Show me Draining Kiss Ray, because me getting this freeze would never happen. Run this back 10 times, Astral Bros win the game. Oh my gosh, I forced that. I conditioned my opponent into this wonderful situation where they didn't want to get frozen, but bro, it's a 10% chance. Like, force me to do it. We win. We won the game. That's a misplay from the opponent, but like I set up that situation to happen. I did. I set it up. I played. I was like, hey, I can freeze. Hey, I can freeze again. He really thought I was going to go Protect. I think that also they could have went Protect, or they could have went like Psychic into my Swampert as well, or Psychic into the Ray or something like that, or Draining Kiss into the Ray. I think this is such a cool team. I think this person played this very well, other than that last turn. Let's see, is it Vested? Vested Lando, Koba, Amoonguss. See, Spore on the Amoonguss, like a good player, right? Let's see what else. I want to see. It's not Scarf, so it was Magnet. Awesome. We were able to scout that Magnet. You know, it's Pokesports team. This is a Pokesports rental. So if you guys want to go check out this team for yourself, Pokesports probably has a rental code for it. Yeah, I think it's a cool team. No Protect on that Shadow Rider. Wow, that's a little bit greedy. You should definitely have Protect on there. But yeah, I think that I played to my outs in that one, and they got scared of the freeze, which they shouldn't have been. It's a 10% chance. Like, I obviously was risking it all to go for those, and I didn't deserve to get that win. But you know what? Ray's not that bad. Ray's not that bad. That's a big Dragon's Ascent. I actually thought this team was going to be so much worse. You know, the past couple rentals people have given me were a little bit hard to use. Man, this team was so much fun to use. I think the Coco was really cool. Obviously, in Sin Super Standard, Swampert was by far and away MVP in these matchups. Swampert was so good. If we take a look again at the Poke Paste that was submitted, we had a couple of small changes, like it didn't have the right moves, but this Coco EV spread would help you out a lot and help you function relatively at the same tier. The Rayquaza, you might as well just go for some sort of 2v2 set if you are going to be sashed, and the sash is the better item here. Amoonguss, you gotta have Spore, man. I think that Clear Smog is definitely worth keeping. Grass Knot is also worth keeping, but also if you're going to be using Grass Knot, you're going to have to actually go with like a plus special attack Nature to actually make it so it's still a 2-shot on Groudon and Kyogre. So you're still going to have to put, I would say about like 20 points into those. So like you'd be stuck at something like, yeah. You'd be stuck at something like that. Is that even the number that works? 110? No. You'd be stuck at, you'd be wasting weird EVs at that point. So it's like, you actually need about this much investment, though, on your Grass Knot to make sure it's a 2-shot on Groudons and Kyogres, so you might want to watch out for that. Ferrothorn, we didn't get to use it, but it heavily influenced our opponent's team previews. We saw them lead with fire types in both games, and, they've tried to check the Ferrothorn, and we just didn't bring it. Incineroar was great. Love this set. Love the slow parting shot on the slow and Sin. Very, very bulky, and Swampert, love this for us. MVP Swampert, very, very cool Pokemon. And that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to submit your own teams, you still can. There's still time. We have a few more to get through, but there's a link in the description. Every single tier can submit teams. Even the cheapest $2 tier can submit teams. We're going to take a look at them, break them down, let you know what we think. Like this guy, he actually wrote like a lot of stuff. Greg talked about all these things, and I'm very surprised at how well this team performed. So great stuff from him. Really cool anti-meta Rayquaza team, and if you guys want to submit your teams, think about checking it out. Oh, I didn't even turn it back on. Wow. There it is. Yeah, Greg wrote all this stuff. If you have, the more stuff you guys have to say about your teams and how it should be played, the better job I can do of, analyzing it and talking about what I think is right. So thank you, Greg, for submitting the team. Thank you to everyone else that submitted teams as well. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.